saw you hit the wrong button.
You did not see me hit the wrong
actually,
button.
and I heard it
No. You heard
loud.
no buttons. Nobody.
I actually saw and heard.
Well, you know what? We should probably get
And
to
it's
the
actually
podcast.
on camera, too.
We should just get to the people who are listening to this right now.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Oh, I thought you were going to push the button.
We're in your home, we're in your head. Lock the doors and close the blinds. Turn on your TV, turn off your mind.
Should I be in charge of the buttons?
Maybe.
I think so. I'm ready to go when I say I'm ready to go.
And, I just enjoy this fun little banter of you just belittling my button pressing skills.
Your button pressing skills are off. Okay, buddy?
Woohoo!
Welcome. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome.
This is Soul of a Gamer. I am Scott.
And I'm Steven.
And we're here to tell you about The Walking Dead.
Season 1. This was a Telltale game.
I guess we should. We hope you enjoyed our last week game.
Yes.
Which was
the game.
The game. Which game? I believe in you.
I don't.
Because I don't remember either. So we're at a. Hold on, I can get this. It was. Don't tell me. It was. God, why can't I think of it? It's weird because we literally just played it. It's not like we waited 4 weeks and did this. We just played it.
I don't even have it named on there.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed it, whatever it was. But yeah.
Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive. God,
wow.
It's because I thought that game wasn't very good.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
Yeah.
I think I forget games when I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I played it and I didn't like it, and I'm just never going to think about this game again.
Exactly.
Yeah. I really think that's what it... Because a lot of the times I'll be like, yeah, last week we played this game, which I fucking love.
It's kind of what's happening with the Saints Row game that just came out.
Is it?
It's been getting just demolished in reviews.
Really?
Yeah, apparently it's just the most god-awful sandbox crime game ever. I can't remember who did that one, the new one, but I don't think it's the original creators of it. But
probably not, because they did like 5 of them, I think.
Yeah, but I was listening to the people who got like extra review copies like a couple weeks ago, and he's like, I kept forgetting I had a review copy of it because it was just that bad. Like everything about it is just awful. Like the gameplay is awful, the shooting is awful, the story is awful, the characters are awful. Like
I think we're just at a point where games have to be so good out the gate that like it just
I think they just need to be decent out the gate. I think games need to quit telling us 6 years in advance that they're coming out.
Yeah.
Like we're having that problem with Coder now because that got the remake of Coder just got pushed to a different development company, and that got pushed back another 2.5 years.
I'm not surprised.
But they announced that like 2 years ago.
That's a stupid remake, though. Like they should have the original people, BioWare, who we're going to be talking about next week.
Yes,
BioWare is great. They should have them do it because they're a fucking fantastic game company, or they used to be.
Yeah.
Before EA got a hold of them.
But I think there's so much hype built up in these years.
Yeah.
Of us getting hyped for it.
But that's the only way, like, so getting people excited for it is the only way you get people to invest in it.
Okay, but, like, think about, like, what Elden Ring did. That game, we heard some notions that there was a From Software game in the work.
Yeah.
We got, like, a title, like, I think 6 to 9 months beforehand. We got a trailer, like, 6 or 3 months beforehand. And then we got one more trailer. And then it came out, and it's one of the biggest selling games ever.
Yeah, but
we didn't have years of Elden Ring.
But not all companies are at that level, right? Where like Dark Souls 3 did really well too. So you have like a company who every game they've released has done really well. So there's a lot of financial support for those companies. That's why they do this whole we gotta announce it 6 years before. It's gonna take us that long to make it, and we need people to be excited. Otherwise, these third-party companies who actually pay for this stuff won't give us money.
Like I'm getting less and less excited for Starfield.
I don't know what Starfield is.
It's the new Bethesda Skyrim game that's coming out.
Bethesda already did a Skyrim game.
Well, Bethesda did Skyrim.
Yeah, but they already exactly, and they did Fallout. I'm pretty sure. Fallout 4.
Yeah.
So why are they doing another Skyrim?
Well, they're
game?
doing another. Well, it's supposed to be Skyrim in space. Is basically what it's
okay.
classified as.
So Fallout was Skyrim in the future, and now we got Skyrim in space.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of
Skyrim on the moon.
A lot of these companies are just failing
So
with their
stupid.
advertising way too soon.
Yeah.
And like games not coming out for years and years and years, and then when they do
Yeah.
come out, they're also buggy and
Yeah.
trash.
Because there's a notion, and I see where you're coming from, where it has to come out on time, otherwise people get pissed and
Yeah.
they don't want to buy it. But at the same time, like I said, if they don't have an excitement for it, financiers aren't going to come in and give them money to make it.
Yeah, like
'Cause
no
that's-
one pre-orders games
Yeah,
anymore.
I didn't even know anything about game making really until Corwin, our
Yeah.
friend who works for Deck 9 Games. He told me, he's like, yeah, we can't afford to make a game ourselves. We have to get fucking who came in and made that game with them.
Don't nod.
No, not Don't Nod. The big one. They
Square
made
Enix?
Square Enix, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way they could make a game is Square Enix pays for it.
Yeah.
So that's just the thing, and they've
I
got
mean,
so much
it's-
money and other stuff that's how they do it.
It's fair. It's
Yeah.
fair.
So and that I get why game companies do it, but at the same time they're kind of screwing themselves over if it fails.
Yeah.
Because then no one's gonna trust them again.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, like a lot of times the first impression reviews are really important for
Yeah.
people buying a game because a lot of times, especially with people pre-ordering less
Especially
and less.
now, when
Yeah.
like everybody's watching reviews before they do anything.
Exactly.
Back in the day, we used to make fun of people who looked at Rotten Tomatoes because we're like, "What are you, a fucking idiot? Let's just go see the movie."
Exactly.
And now we all do it.
Yeah, because we don't want to waste our money with things getting more and more expensive
Yeah.
and everything like that, which I totally understand.
Except
but
for
that's why
games are staying at the same price.
need to kind of the newer consoles, like at least for PlayStation, they've upped the price
To
on
80?
new games to 70.
70. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, $10.
Yeah.
In 50 years. Just
But it's definitely just one of those things that just gets really annoying. Like if we're waiting for reviews and stuff, and then we hear day one reviews being like this game's absolute trash, and
Yeah.
then the game doesn't actually fix itself or doesn't become good until 2 years later.
I will say there was a game that did very good and did that. Want to guess what it was?
No Man's Sky.
No, GTA 4. Or GTA 5, sorry.
Well, yeah.
Because GTA 5 didn't have heist when it first
Yeah.
came out. Everyone hated that. Everyone. They loved the online play. They hated the limitability. And then
Yeah.
I think it took like a year and a half to 2 years for them to come out with their first heist.
But
Once they
GTA
did.
5 still had a lot of
Yeah.
sales, even just with the gameplay
Just
and the
being
story
so good,
and being
yeah.
GTA.
But there are instances where that becomes successful. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're getting way
We're
off.
way off.
Let's jump into The Walking Dead. Let's
Yes.
start with our first topic.
What's on the box?
So we found like a box that was all of the seasons.
This one's season 1, and this one is
so
actually a PC version. I guess this
Oh no,
is.
you're right.
Yeah.
Episodes. Why the hell would they put season 1 and then name each episode?
I don't know.
Season 1 already implies that each episode is there, guys.
I don't know.
It's so weird.
But yes. So we have a heartrending thriller series.
Heartrending indeed.
Yes. Lee Everett, a convicted criminal who has been given a second chance at life in the world devastated by the undead, with corpses returning to life and survivors stopping at nothing to maintain their own safety, protecting an orphan girl named Clementine may offer him redemption in a world gone to hell.
I will do anything, whatever it takes to protect Clementine. He's from Georgia.
That was Greg Miller's
Yeah,
quote from
I
IGN, though. That wasn't even from the game.
I'm guessing Greg Miller is the guy who plays...
No, Greg Miller's a person from IGN, like a reviewer from IGN, I believe.
Why the hell is he quoting it like he's the fucking guy then?
He's not quoting it like he's... I think he's just quoting it because
He played the game?
He played the game,
Maybe.
yeah.
Or maybe he's
Like,
just
I would
quoting-
do anything to protect
He
Clementine.
doesn't. I don't think you have to like give props to fake people. So he doesn't actually have to put. This was said by Lee Everett in the game The Walking Dead. You know what I mean?
Maybe he just really loved Clementine so much that he would do anything to protect her in the game.
She was really annoying. I'm not gonna lie.
Clementine's awesome.
She's awesome in the later games. In this one, she sucks.
I enjoyed her in this game.
She is fun. I will give her that. But I actually like Duck more.
I
loved that.
Duck was annoying.
But Duck was annoying in a cute way where there's a part in here where he becomes Robin.
Well, I liked that part.
That was so fun.
That
But
part
then,
was awesome.
right after that, he dies.
I know.
What did you want? They didn't give him a lot of time to character develop.
They had plenty of time for him to do that stuff earlier. They
Yeah,
just didn't
true.
do that stuff
True.
until later and then killed him off.
So yeah, this box is pretty okay. I mean, it shows some pictures of. I don't know why it shows him like sneakily walking up the stairs.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Just in this game, you will sneak.
Yeah.
And this is like, okay, no, you don't.
What? I don't even remember a time where they're all sitting around a campfire.
Oh, so that's in 400 days, I think.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, because that's not them.
No, I don't think.
Or is that Ben?
No, that's Kenny.
But then who's the other guy with the hat?
I don't know.
So I think that's 400 days, because in 400 days, there's like 6 characters who all loosely know each other.
Oh, okay.
So 5 or 6 characters. And they all, their stories are weird. It's just, they all come in season 2 very unremarkably.
Oh, okay.
But they're just kind of side people who you can choose to let live or choose to let die, and based on if you played 400 days or not.
Okay.
So...
Interesting.
So yeah, I mean, this is not a great 6 nominations. So they were nominated but didn't win. Why would you say that?
I mean, it's still a good thing to be nominated for awards.
I think everyone is nominated for Game of the Year, to be honest.
No, there's only 4 games per category
Nominated for Game
nominations.
of the Year.
And so being even nominated, like if I was a
But Game of the Year by who? It doesn't even say.
What do you mean by who?
By who's nominating, like, what organization is doing this video game award? Is it
There's only one.
Oh, I thought there were multiple.
There's some smaller ones for like indie games and stuff like that, but
we should have one. I'm gonna rank this not in Game of the Year. You can go fuck yourself, Walking Dead.
But I mean, it's got some good.
They were nominated for best downloadable game. What does that mean?
It means it was a game that, when it came out, was only a downloadable game, not a disc copy game. Yeah,
like that even makes a difference.
Yes,
because now it doesn't, but back then it probably
back then it did. Yeah,
you're like, every game is downloadable, you fucking idiots. I bet that category is gone.
Probably
best adapted video game. What does that mean?
Adapted from a source. So this is from the Walking Dead comics. So
that's so stupid.
No, what? That makes sense.
So uber specific.
No, that needs to be a category.
But, I mean,
in a video game competition.
The Grammys don't say best story told by music based on real life.
They do have the very specific categories.
They do, but not for this specific. And like movies don't have that. Like, well, I guess maybe
they do have best adapted movie adapted screenplay, like book adapted screenplay.
I don't like that.
They have like a lot of those
like,
kind of things.
What about this one, huh? Best performance by a human female, as opposed to what? A fucking dog female?
Or as opposed to a computer generated female. What do you
mean?
Yes.
No.
AI and deepfakes are getting as crazy.
Oh, now they are. This is in 2011, buddy.
They still were back then, just not as prominent as they are now.
Best performance by a human male, too. You know what? I just don't like these. These are really stupid categories.
Those last two.
The best one probably is Game of the Year, and then I'll give Best Adapted Video Game too.
Yes.
Everything else in there is bullshit.
Okay.
We were nominated for Best Performance by a Human instead of a computer or an animal. We did it!
You know.
This is really awkward too, because there was only one human in our game.
You know.
It's weird because, you know, most of the voice acting you hear is probably human, right?
Well, yes.
It's like not a lot of people will go that whole route.
I don't know why they said human.
I know, it's
but
so
I'm guessing
weird.
It's because there's a category that's not human.
Probably like a more
like
almost
an AI generated thing, like
Gladys?
a robot voice, or
like Gladys from not Gladys. Is that her name?
Yeah, from Portal.
From Portal, yeah, like Gladys. But she was played by a real person, just in a robot voice format.
Yeah. But I'm sure there are robot
so
characters.
So would she be nominated for the best performance by a human female or not?
Probably.
I don't understand.
Maybe their characters are human. Maybe that's what the distinction is.
Maybe. I don't know. The box is pretty normal. This is a game by Telltale, like you said. Telltale was really cool for a long time.
Yeah.
They were so much fun.
They were like really big and made a ton of games, and then they started branching out into more licensed material, and then all of a sudden just
bad idea. So I think you have to pay for that, don't you? Like if it's not an original idea,
unless they are willing to
sometimes
you have to pay for certain licensing, but sometimes they'll pay for
the show might like the company that makes the show might put some money towards it to get some excitement for it, but a lot of the time they'll just be like, all right, pay us for the rights to make a game.
Exactly.
Which is really stupid to do for all of your games, because it just sounds like you're losing money, because if even one of those doesn't get popular, you lose a lot of money, and that licensing cannot be cheap.
It's kind of like where Multiverses is doing good with the licensed characters because it's Warner Brothers doing Multiverses, which they own the license
Yeah.
to all of these franchises.
That's the idea. Is
Yeah.
like if you own them, go for it. Telltale should have stopped at licensing it probably after The Walking Dead and should have went to original.
Yeah, because
story
after The
gameplay.
Walking Dead, they started doing. They did a Game of Thrones. They did a Batman. They did
Guardians of the
Back to
Galaxy.
the Future.
Yeah,
Guardians of the
Back to the Future.
Galaxy.
There are a bunch. There's a big list. I think they did Wolfenstein. Not Wolfenstein.
Well, they did The Wolf Among Us.
Wolf Among Us. That's
but
it.
that's not a. That's adapted, I think, from
Yeah.
another comic book
Yes.
series, not a.
Yeah, but they did all these games and they're all adapted, so it's all money they have to spend. Which
Yeah.
I don't know if Telltale knew that they were spending so much money because they went like it was a day. Within
Yeah.
a day, I remember this because I was playing The Walking Dead, and within a day after me starting it, it's like Telltale Games probably going defunct, and then the next day after that, Telltale Games files for bankruptcy.
Yep.
You're just like, God damn it.
And they're like, all these Telltale games are canceled. And you're like, no!
But they did end up finishing Walking Dead.
Yeah, they did finish Walking
which
Dead.
was good. I think that there was enough. I think The Walking Dead wanted them to finish that, right?
Yeah, and I think the only one that... Because a couple of them had other ones planned. I think there was going to be another Game of Thrones. I think there was going to be another Wolf Among Us.
Yeah.
And I think there was going to be...
I heard The Wolf Among Us is amazing.
I heard it's really, really good, too.
So, yeah, I mean, it's sad that a game company has to go out like that. But, you know, there's always room for them to come back in the future at some point. The guy who created it's still alive. I mean,
Yeah.
and if he gets money again, he'll probably come back. But hopefully, I think to be a gaming company, you don't just stick to one fucking thing. You try to branch out a little bit, right? You don't just do first-person shooters. You maybe throw in an RPG in there. Like,
I mean...
stay within your scope, but also branch out at least enough to keep interest in your company.
Ubisoft kind of does that where they are pretty similar in all of their games. They're all open world collectible style games, but they do branch out with their franchises. So like there's Assassin's Creed and Far Cry.
Yeah.
And they are
Which are
widely different games.
different games.
But like their open world mechanics are pretty
I think
similar.
Far Cry is a first-person shooter, and Assassin's Creed is the third-person overhead, right? So, which we're gonna get into the shit gameplay in this here soon. Don't worry. But first, we'll get to.
Are we jammin'?
I really like the music in this.
I really enjoyed the music.
So somber.
Yeah, the music was really good in this and was perfect for the moments.
Yeah, happy moments felt very happy. Sad moments felt very sad. Like
Yeah.
over the top, just fucking scary moments felt terrifying.
Yeah.
They did such a good job on the score for this.
And honestly, like we always talk about the dialogue and stuff in this section
On
too.
point.
Fucking hell, the dialogue is so good.
I was debating like how many fucking famous actors they got for this because everyone did so fucking
Yeah.
good. I didn't bother looking it up. I'm assuming they're all famous because of how good it was.
And I thought it was kind of crazy, like hearing a lot of the names from like the Walking Dead TV show at the beginning, like Glenn and stuff like that.
Glenn is the only one from the TV show in this.
Okay.
This is like before, because he meets Rick in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So he goes. This is right before he goes to Atlanta. Yeah.
okay.
This is right before season 1. So it's just interesting that they did that. I thought that was kind of stupid at first. I was not gonna lie.
I thought it was kind of alright.
Because then Glenn at no point mentions that there were survivors just hiding in this motel.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the voice acting is so fucking on par. Everyone who, like, it's kind of creepy because you go up to people and they sound like the nicest people in the world. Like in episode 2, you meet this. I think it's episode 2. That's the starved one, right? I guess we
Yeah,
could starve for help.
yeah.
Right there. You meet that old woman in the house.
Oh.
Who's so kind. She's like, now, honey, don't you talk like that here. And you're just like, okay, yeah, you're a nice lady. And then suddenly it just goes to we have to eat them, Lee, to survive. And just the dramatic change in the voices in this, how they go from like this fake persona of what they used to be into what they actually are in the new world.
Both the brothers were really creepy too, like especially
So
the
I
one.
thought the one was.
The one was
yeah, the
really,
one was like
really,
the kind of
yeah,
hunchback.
not Andy, but the other one.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Well, we'll go over our big decisions when we get to story time, and we'll talk about those.
Oh, yeah.
But did you find any famous people, anyone you know?
I was kind of looking at that.
Who's the guy who plays Lee?
Lee is Dave Fennoy.
I was gonna laugh if it was gonna be a white guy who played Lee. Lee is black. I was just like, no way, this is a white guy, right?
Which apparently he plays Lucius Fox in like the Batman Arkham Knight
nice.
series, and he's And he's in a lot of video games.
I'm guessing like most of these guys are, because this does not sound like any of their first go-to. Who plays Clementine? Is that like a young girl or was it a young woman?
Let me see. Clementine was Melissa Hutchinson.
She doesn't look too young, but I guess 10 years ago, how old was she?
She was born in 75.
Oh, so she was 25 when...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, no, she was 35.
Yeah.
Jesus, okay. That's pretty
Which
cool.
she's also in The Wolf Among Us and Fire Emblem and a few other games too. So a lot of these people are in a lot of games, so their voices you'll recognize, but not necessarily maybe like
I'm
know
excited
their
for
name.
you next week when we play Mass Effect, because there's so many famous voices.
Oh, I know.
So many. I was
Just like with Coder.
Holy shit.
Like,
And you have some repeats from Coder, too, which is cool. But yeah, I mean, the voices in this on point, acting in this on point.
Seriously,
At no point did I feel like anything was forced. Each character kind of reflected, their voice definitely reflected what they were, right?
Yeah.
So like Clementine, this little girl who is scared and shy, it's very like reserved voice. Lee, kind of and he says it during it, he's like a tall, well-built black man.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's what I am. And he talks that way too. He has a lot of confidence in his voice.
He used to be a teacher, and you can kind of definitely tell that, especially the way he talks to Clementine sometimes. He's got that very like
serene,
bolstering,
sounding.
But nice sounding voice. He's just got that like big voice sometimes that like can really like command a group. And
then when he's talking to a youth, he's like, even when he's annoyed, like, because he talks to Duck and he's like, Duck, would you cut that out? Like, you can tell, like, the personality is there for each voice actor, which is fucking great.
When he's talking to Ben, and like when Ben's like talking to him about things, and like when Ben opens up to him about a couple of things that he did,
punches him in the face,
and he's just sitting there, he's like, we'll worry about that at a different time. Now's not the time to deal with that.
He's like, God damn it, I'm so annoyed right now. I was gonna get laid.
Seriously, fuck you, Ben. Killed one of my favorite characters in the game.
Or
got my favorite.
Yes, for
he
sure.
didn't kill her, but
all right. Well, anything else you want to say about voices or the music?
Honestly, though, like seriously, like as far as like voice acting goes, like this is some of the best voice acting we've seen in some of these games recently, especially of our recent games. Like the dialogue in this leads this entire game.
I think they did that on purpose too.
Yeah.
Right? Because this whole game, like, it's not about the gameplay. It's all about your interactions.
Definitely not about the gameplay.
So it's like, it's crazy to me that they were smart enough to say, okay, we're not going to put a lot of work into what the gameplay actually is. We are going to put a ton of work into getting these voices perfect.
Yeah.
I bet they did 100 takes each.
Oh, yeah,
I would
probably
not doubt it on each fucking line.
Honestly, like some of this stuff in here, it's potent, it's impactful. Like every line of dialogue, like even like having like the choices you have seem to make a difference in this one.
For sure. And I know we don't normally talk a lot about the dialogue in games, but this one, it's guys, you have to understand, it's such a fucking dialogue-driven game.
Yeah, and we definitely do talk about dialogue when it's this important.
Yeah, and this is the important times like this, or in like Life is Strange.
Yeah.
Where dialogue is pretty much all the gameplay mechanics that you have. So
exactly.
In this case, dialogue is, and they did such a fucking great job. If we had to give like a grade just on dialogue, I'd give an A+.
Oh yeah,
I'd give like whatever I could over 100% for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well let's move on to.
How does it play?
They made the dumbest decision of any fucking... I hate it when games do this. So, guys, everyone knows the point of views. The very used first person, very used third person, and the seldomly used second person.
Well, and fixed camera.
So then that's second person.
Yeah.
So second person point of view is told, I believe, from an entity above you.
Yeah.
So like not like a storyteller, but almost like a fictional god is telling the story.
Yeah.
So and they're looking upon while the story is happening. So this is kind of similar to that because the fucking fixed camera angles.
Think about Resident Evil 1 is like the first.
Like the original, like first 3 Resident Evils.
Yeah. So the reason why it's called fixed camera, a lot of people call it fixed camera, is because it seems like it's a camera in a hallway that's just in a fixed location, and that's your only sight for controlling the character. And you have to control the character that matches that angle of that camera angle.
Yeah, and if you move out of that camera, it shifts into a different camera at a different angle.
Yes.
Which is really annoying. That's such an annoying point of view, and that's where I thought of Life is Strange when I saw this. I'm like, why didn't they do it like they did?
Yeah.
They did the same kind of Telltale game, a little bit extra action in it, But they did it in a third-person point of view, which makes so much more sense. Like in this one, it would have been great to do third-person point of view.
100%.
But I'm guessing it had something to do with like the cost of doing it.
Cost of it for sure is probably going to be just way.
I'm guessing. I don't know for sure. I don't know how games are really written like that, but it's just crazy to me that they just decided to go with this fucking point of view where even you could find hidden things way off the camera's like perfect point of view.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
That was frustrating. The cursor on this is also frustrating, especially at speed moments.
Yeah.
Like one of the moments.
What do we call them? Quick play moments?
Yeah, kind of quick. It's quick time events, but this isn't like a quick time event where you have to like hit a button. Just like it says, like hit B to jump over this stump and hit this.
I mean, it is. You have to move the cursor before you hit the button.
But that's the one extra thing is this makes you do like move this cursor, which is like a duck hunt kind of cursor, over and then hit the button to do it. And on some of those things, it's just so much extra. Like some events, like people, they'll like you'll just like grab the door and they'll do whatever it takes to open the door. Other times, it's like, all right, I have to grab the keys from this person. I have to grab this. I have to hit the key button, not the door handle button.
Yeah.
Because if I hit the door handle button while holding the key, he'll try to open the door and be like, it's locked. I need a key.
Yeah.
You need to hit the key button till you turn the key and then hit the door handle button. And I'm like,
I actually found that they had both.
well, you have, they're in different segments. It had.
No. What I mean is that it kind of annoyed me because there would be, after you grab a key, there would be a key button and the door button.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is if you hit the door button, it would actually use the key too. So then
I never had that.
Oh, I saw that mold because I remember making a note of it because I'm like, I wonder why they bothered doing this. Why not just take one of those out and just have the one option then?
That's what I wanted because there was one or two times I actually died in the game because I hit door handle instead of key, and I tried opening the door again and it wasn't unlocked yet.
Interesting.
And then I died, and then I had to come back and I had to hit lock first, and then I had to hit the door handle. I'm like, that's stupid.
Those are just like, you have to think on your feet with a lot of these things, unfortunately.
Yeah, but like the cursor isn't the best for moving and doing things fast.
Yeah.
So like the gauntlet section of the game, if you do that, was pretty annoying.
End of the game where you're
when you're walking through all the zombies.
Yeah, I thought they would all ignore you because you're already infected. But apparently not.
No,
I was like, okay, well, whatever.
Not until he gets enough blood on him.
Yep. So yeah, the fixed camera is definitely annoying. QuickTime events were a little annoying. I had something else too that I just fucking hated.
There's a couple of things in this game where they don't give you any sort of help at all of like where something is. Like there's one point when you first get to the motel and you're trying to help Glenn help this stranger up there.
Yeah.
And I was looking around at like where to go, what to do for like 20, 25, like probably not like that long, like 15, 20 minutes. And I was just getting so frustrated
during that part
because
of the
like
car.
Yeah, because I was like sitting there and I was like, okay, if I go this way, zombie. If I go this way, zombie. And if I go this way, I can see a ice pick or something.
I had to look this up because I had no idea there was a pillow in front of me. I was like, where did that pillow come from?
Because I was like looking over the ledge up top and seeing
I was looking
zombie.
over the side too, but it doesn't matter.
I never looked over the side.
Even if you do, you don't notice the fucking pillow because you're like, okay, it's just something white on the ground.
Yes.
What the fuck am I? And you can barely see it because it's about the same color as the fucking ground.
And it doesn't even fully look like a pillow. It just looks like a pad or something.
Yeah, so like it really didn't matter that was there. I had to look it up, and they were like, hey, get that fucking pillow. I'm like, what pillow?
Yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, and then you can get a spark plug from inside the car. And then if you get that spark plug, and then you say you're gonna break down the window.
I love how they shot the zombie through the fucking pillow.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, that doesn't actually silence the gun.
Mildly.
Very mildly.
Mildly.
Not enough for 40 zombies not to fucking mob you as soon as they hear it.
Fair.
And within like touching distance. They were so close. It was just so funny.
So there's a couple of moments in this game that I did have to look up because they were just dumb like that.
And that was the only one I had to look up.
I think
I was because I played it before. After that, I was like, okay, everything else is so easy to find.
Yeah.
That moment there, though, I completely forgot you had to grab a fucking pillow.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
So, like, there, I think there was only maybe one other thing I had to look up, and I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but
yeah, stuff like that was a little annoying because and you can, I don't know if you turned on the mode where it actually pops up on your screen. So that's their help mode. They do have a help mode.
I did not put on the help
Yeah,
mode.
I turned it off because I wanted to see how hard it was to actually just search and find things. Which in the fucking store, it was really hard because you're looking for the batteries. And like one's on the floor and one's on a fucking shelf, and it's just impossible to see them. You have to just randomly get your cursor over. So that's what I was doing, like up and down on the screen, just doing like an area, cursor up and down.
I just reminded myself of 2 different areas that I had to look something up. The first one was in the pharmacy.
Yeah.
Fucking getting the keys was so ridiculous.
Getting the keys?
To the back office, his parents' office.
That's not hard.
It was ridiculous because I had already, like, swept the entire building.
Yeah.
I had already gone outside.
Okay.
And then, like, I did not think that I would have to use that TV remote from in my dad's office, go outside, use the TV remote on the outside TVs.
Well, and that's all, like, great, but you don't even do that right away. You have to go to the fucking motel first.
Well, yeah.
So you go to the motel first, and you have to make sure you use that TV remote on the actual TV in the office, because if you don't do that, it doesn't pop up with, hey, Glenn's saying he's having some trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you have to do this on top of this, on top of this, on top of this, on top of this to be able to do this, and then do all these other things. I will say
that was one of the only moments where I actually noticed that.
Yeah.
Where it was like kind of ridiculous.
Yes.
I think in the first episode they really tried to go hard
on
what they expected. Then they said, okay, this is stupid. Let's roll it back.
It definitely got a lot easier as it went on. The only other thing that it took me like a couple minutes to figure out was like, two of the doorways, you had to look at the top and see that there was enough space for Clementine to fit through, and if you didn't look up there, it wouldn't give you the option to have her go through it. And I was like, oh, I didn't know I had to like click on it to say, I see that.
That was one of the hardest parts is like realizing how much you actually have to look around.
Yeah.
And looking up and down is important. Getting like, because it is a fixed camera. It should show everything, but guess what? It fucking doesn't. So you still have to look up as if you're in third person point of view.
Sometimes it feels like you're fighting the camera to get where you want to go.
Yeah, which is really annoying. There are like invisible walls that were really fucking annoying.
The hardest one was when you're in the school at the end. I think that was like the worst fixed camera angles.
When you're trying to go down the hallways. Yeah. Also on the roof of the hospital.
Oh,
there's a part where like clearly there's like a glass thing, like a glass like roof window.
Oh yeah.
You know that
canopy.
Whatever they're called. That brings in all the natural skylight. So there's like a skylight, and you can't exactly get up to it. Like there's a wall before the skylight happens, which I'm like, okay, so that area is completely off limits. So I'm looking around that roof for Kenny and Ben.
Yeah.
I'm like, where the fuck could they be? You can't go on the other side. I already found the invisible wall, so I didn't bother trying to go like on the path there because there was a fucking invisible wall.
Yeah.
And then I go back to it. I'm like, they have to be over here. And then there's no invisible wall on that part. And I'm like, why did they put an invisible wall?
Yeah.
Why didn't they just have it so you run into the fucking glass fixture?
Yeah.
So stupid.
There's a couple of those moments.
Yeah,
but
just bad planning with the invisible walls, I think.
Like we said, this game is completely just...
It's not gameplay based at all.
No, it's narrative based. It's very much dialogue based.
Yeah.
And that will hook you.
So, and the gameplay, by the way, I guess we should explain. You have, like we explained, options. If you have an item in your inventory and you are looking at an item that requires that item, like a door that requires the key, it'll give you the open door option or the use key option, like things like that. But also, you do attack things. You'll have quick time moments where a zombie will be on top of you and you have to smash A and then press an additional button to push them off. You'll have moments where you just have to shoot a gun at people, and no matter where you hit, like there's no aiming really.
No.
You just have to get your cursor to where you can shoot them.
Yeah.
And then if you just hit A, you hit them in the head.
Yeah.
Except for the part where you get into the RV, I believe you have to get close enough.
Yes.
But just certain things like that, not really action-y at all. I really wish they would have put in a sprint button. There's no sprint. It's all walking.
I definitely wish they had that.
Because like even in the urgent moments, it feels like it's not urgent because you're just fucking walking around. Yeah. You're thinking things out loud, too, which is really weird.
Yeah.
Like, when you press on something like, well, this is a good-looking fence, and then someone would be like, yeah, that is a good-looking fence, isn't it? And you're like, why am I saying that out loud? Internalize. A lot of pointless missions, too, that really don't make, like, fixing the swing in episode 2.
I didn't even fix the swing.
Yeah, you don't have to. There's nothing, like, I fixed it, and then nothing happens. No, like, you push Clementine on it, and that's pretty much it.
even if you don't fix it, Andy fixes it for you.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I noticed you have kids, so I went ahead and fixed that swing.
Oh, really? So he fixes it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I still got to push Clementine on the swing anyways.
So interesting. So yeah, the pointless missions like that don't serve a purpose, but like I guess they give you something extra to do if you want to.
Yeah.
So interesting stuff in the gameplay. Nothing too big. Quick time moments were the most obnoxious, I think, just because they came out of nowhere sometimes, and you're like, why am I fighting this thing? All right, well, I guess, is there anything else in gameplay that I missed?
I don't think so. Gameplay is, like we said, it's pretty simple. It's really just a lot of just
interacting with
items and
really?
interacting with people and just searching and fighting the fixed cameras. But besides that, there's really not much to it.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on.
It's story time. Let's get started.
Clearly, we're not going to go into the whole story.
No.
We're not. I'll do a basic rundown, but that's it. And then we'll talk about our favorite and least favorite moments. Maybe some of the choices we made.
Yeah. We can do that.
So you're Lee Everett, a teacher. We talked about that on the What's on the Box. And you meet like a group of people. You have Kenny, Lily, Larry, Clementine, Ben, Mark, who only shows up in one episode.
Yes.
And Carly or Doug, but only one of them survives. So, and this group of people, you're basically just trying to let them survive through the episodes.
Yeah.
As you get into through the episode, you go through like a farmhouse where they're eating people. You jump into a situation where your entire compound is invaded and people in your group start killing each other. You jump on a train. You have to head into Savannah, I think it is.
Yeah, Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia, to hopefully find a boat, which is a bad fucking idea. I don't know why they came up with that idea. There's no fresh water on a boat.
Yeah.
You can't even boil water on a fucking boat. So how the fuck are they going to get the salt out?
Kenny was not the brightest mind in the game.
And while you're doing all this, and then eventually you get bitten and your main character turns into a zombie, and then in the future games you play as Clementine.
Oh, okay.
But the gist of this game is survival. You're just going through surviving with little stories in between for your main group. But the big thing I'm going to talk about first is episode 1.
Okay.
The stupidest part about this, you crashing a car.
Yeah.
How long were you out for? Do you know what I mean?
Seriously, though.
It looks like it's been like a week. Because
like there was a zombie in the road that he hit.
Yeah, and then maybe a couple more after that. But then suddenly they're all on top of you. I'm like, how did it go this fast? That doesn't make any fucking sense, does it?
Yeah, that did seem really, really odd. Like, it just seemed like it was like
a long time had passed, right? Like you were in a coma. It's really strange, but it was probably maybe a couple hours.
Which, if you were out for a couple of hours, that's fucking bad.
Yeah, it's super bad. So I don't know why anyone was listening to you.
I don't know.
It's just so weird because it makes it feel like when you wake up, you've been out for days, you've got like a hurt leg.
They almost should have just done like a Rick Grimes start to this quickly instead of doing it that way.
Yeah, I think so too, because that made more sense at least. I mean, even it didn't make sense that he was in a coma and not getting fed for however long after they fucking stopped doing his feeding tube or whatever.
Yeah.
But whatever. We're not going to worry about the details too much. At least that makes more sense than being in a car upside down.
Yeah, exactly. And then seeing one zombie to having the entire area around just covered in zombies. Like, the zombie apocalypse, if it did happen, I don't think would just be like within an hour or... Because, like, even an hour unconscious
because it had to be, like, within an hour, right?
Yeah,
because
it would
literally,
have to be. You
hit one in the street, there's, like, calling an emergency situation in Savannah. I think that's where you came from. And, it just feels so forced. It feels so sudden.
Yeah.
Where, like, you would think there'd be some kind of build-up to it, but maybe they're going off the assumption that the government hid it for a little while. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know, but yeah, that did seem weird. I will give you that.
Yeah, and it was airborne, I guess, at that point, more than likely.
True.
So it doesn't just necessarily go by bite. So anyone who died.
That was true. That was an interesting thing, like, when they brought that up in the game, when Ben brought that up, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was wondering if they were going to do that.
Yeah, I can't really name anything else interesting happening in the first episode besides... Who did you choose, Doug or Carly?
I kept Carly alive.
You kept Carly alive. Okay.
Yeah.
So like literally, I think this is the point they were trying to make. Like, I can change the universal remote to work on these TVs. I memorized all the codes. And Lee's like, wow, you're really handy. I'm like, that is not fucking handy.
It's handy for that one situation.
For that one very specific situation, it's very handy.
But
that's it.
I definitely Carly had a gun. She was very good
shot.
with a gun.
Yep.
And she seemed to have a very good level head on her.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like a no-brainer. Like,
well, I was just like, she's hot, so I'm gonna pick her. Like before I pick Doug, I'm gonna pick the hot
I
chick.
honestly was not going for like hots or anything. I was literally going for what would be the best for survival, and I thought Carly would be the best
for survival is population growth. And you need an equal parts man, equal parts woman.
No, you are not. Like, I'm not gonna be a fucking Rick Grimes or fucking Glenn trying to have babies in the zombie apocalypse.
That's exactly what we're doing.
No,
that's exactly what we're doing.
Especially not until we have a fucking established base where we could actually do it.
Yeah. How much did you hate Larry?
Larry. Oh God, Larry was the worst.
So I was like, why are we helping this guy? Eventually, we're gonna run out of what were they? Not lithium. They were giving him eventually, we're gonna run out of this heart shit that they're giving. I can't remember what it is now.
But it was Larry was just annoying, and like, I hate that he didn't tell you that he knew who you were until like I think it was the 3rd episode.
As soon as he punches you in the 1st episode, you know.
Yeah.
You know, because he's like, you're running from zombies, the pharmacy's been overtaken, and he stands in the doorway, he's like, everyone's coming but you, and he punches you in the face.
Which was annoying, because, like, why wouldn't he do that in the first place?
Also, he did it right in front of everybody.
Yeah, and he did it while we were all running from zombies, after I had just did everything I could to save his life.
Yeah, his life.
Like, he's the most dickish character in the game, and I almost hated his daughter just as much because of how much she wanted to advocate for him, just because it's just her last family member.
What's stupid is, like, everyone has a right to say what they want, right?
Yeah.
So the daughter had a right to be that kind of leader, and that kind of leader probably worked, and so did Kenny's kind of leadership, right?
Yeah.
So both were, like, valid, so it was so hard to pick a side.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a power struggle between Lily, Larry, and Kenny.
Yeah.
Like, and that's it. Those are the only people who care about who's leader. I'm just along to kill fucking zombies.
Well, and Carly wanted you to become leader, which
stupid.
I wanted to become leader.
No, I think that was dumb too. And like, this shouldn't be a society where leadership needs to take a priority. There should be someone maybe saying, okay, in a panic situation, here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
We'll have a panic plan, rather than we need somebody to scream at us as soon as things go south.
I mean, having a panic shot caller is not a bad idea.
No, it's not. But at the same time, you were already doing that even when they were leaders. So what the fuck is the point of being leader?
I guess that's fair.
And Kenny did that, and he did that pretty well at one point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the first episode, I think the choices were like, which one did you save, Doug or Carly? And we chose Carly. Doug was so useless. Like, them saying,
there was also... Oh, wait, no. Saving Duck was in the next episode, right?
So you get to either help Duck or help Sean.
Yeah.
You end up on a farm before you go to the pharmacy, I think. Yeah, because remember, you meet Sean and his friend
after you leave Clementine's house.
Yes. And I think his friend dies at some point, but I don't remember. No, maybe he didn't.
No,
die.
he left to go to his parents' house, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
As soon as I got to the farm, he's like, oh, I'm going to go leave and go check on my parents.
Yeah. So you can either help Sean, who has been run over by a fucking tractor.
Because
fucking idiot Duck. Idiot Sean left the idiot keys and the idiot ignition, and idiot Duck turned on the idiot tractor. It was just such
Duck took the tractor out of park and put it into drive, and it drove over the back of Sean, and Sean started screaming, and zombies start coming over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, do I try to... While zombies are coming and breaking down the fence that Sean is like fixing while being partially underneath the tractor, or do I just save the kid who's on top of the tractor?
And we should mention these are not QuickTime events.
You have to do them pretty quick though.
No. These ones you don't. Remember, these ones don't have that meter. They're slowed down. Oh. You get to look at each situation and pick appropriately, which are nice.
Yeah.
So they're QuickTime without a timer.
Okay.
So the time is basically stopped for you while you pick which one you're going to save. And this only happens like 3 times.
Yeah.
Not very often.
It's just the I think in the game they put it as the hard decision or the tough decisions.
Yeah, tough decisions. And I went tractor first. I went duck because not only is he a kid, but also the tractor's on his fucking leg. I'm like, okay, I get the kid. I throw the kid off the tractor. I move it back to get it off the kid's leg. I get this done, and then he's just trying to pull the fucking zombie off a duck. I'm like, you're taking too fucking long.
Yeah, I was like, just grab the kid.
My God, it was so stupid. And then your Sean gets bitten in that time. I'm like, what? Come on, I had it all planned out.
No, that's the one thing I was like, yeah. And like every dialogue option after every one of those tough decisions, like they're like, why did you choose this? And I'm like, I thought I had time for both.
Yeah, honestly, I did.
And that's what I said every time because I thought I had time for both.
Honestly, it felt like you in that first one, especially you had time for both
for sure.
But yeah, I went duck, and also it's a kid. It's like Sean will be more useful now. But at the same time, I already knew that I wasn't going to stay on the farm.
It's hard to say that like this kid should die just because he's a kid.
And what's stupid is so I end up looking up the opposite decision because that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah. So
the opposite decision is you go for Sean and you still don't save him.
Oh God.
He still dies. Duck doesn't die. Duck gets saved by Kenny. So no matter what, you lose this situation.
Okay.
But the only difference is when you talk to the dad, he's nice to you at first and then tells you to get out.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like, okay, well, what's the point going for Sean, man?
Yeah, that seems kind of pointless.
Some of the decisions in this were very in the moment.
Yeah.
But the moment passes and you're like, wow, I really didn't have to make either decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went duck. It sounds like, which was a good decision anyway because you want Kenny on your side later.
Yeah, you do.
Kind of.
I definitely had Kenny on my side most of the game.
Yeah. I don't think. What's the other tough decisions? I should have wrote them down. I was thinking about doing that.
Yeah, Doug and Carly.
Duck and Sean.
Killing Larry?
No, that's in episode 2.
Well, I know it's in episode 2, but I think... Oh, are you talking about just for episode 1?
Yeah, for the moment. Just episode 1 last
That's
decision.
The only tough decisions.
The big decisions, like the 5
I think those are
at
the
end. Like the 60% of players did this, 70% did this.
Yeah, the only one I wrote for those are...
The tough ones.
Save Duck and Save Carly.
All right, well, episode 2 then. Let's jump into there.
Only 30% of people saved Duck, and only 48% of people saved Carly.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Carly was way more useful. I'm telling you. So sorry, I got off track with Doug. So he is very good with tech, and I was like, well, tech's gonna be gone in maybe a day.
Yeah.
Because literally we're about to go back to Stone Age days.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would we give a shit about a guy who's good with tech? Maybe later on when we're established and we have a society and we can start building that back up again. But until then, what the fuck's the point?
Yeah.
So I went with the immediate, okay, we need a huntress.
Yeah, exactly.
I need my ward.
I need my hot woman with a gun.
She was pretty hot.
She was.
She ends up kissing you on the cheek.
She does.
And
she definitely seemed like she
was
wanted
flirty with
more at the end.
Yeah, she did. She did. Episode 2. In this episode, you meet a bunch of cannibals. This is great.
This is fucked, dude.
Yeah, this is pretty fucked, but it makes sense. I was like,
it does make sense, but
I'm so confused too. Why they cut off the guy's legs to serve that instead of using the frozen fucking meat? In the freezer? I was like, there's piles of frozen meat in here, guys. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, and leaving him still alive.
Yeah, so because they said the meat would get tainted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but and I get that part, but I'm like, then cook them later.
Yeah.
Don't fucking waste them now. What did you want, fresh meat? You got frozen meat in the fucking freezers.
This seems like a too good to be true scenario with these farm people, and then you're getting attacked by these bandits that this farm's being attacked by, and they're like, oh, sorry, we lied to you. It's not as safe as you thought it was.
Yeah, the bandits, we were feeding them, and now we're not because they're assholes.
Yeah,
Which is fair, they are assholes.
When you are fixing the electrical fence and you go through the back gate to get back in, I'm like, this gate has no protection. It's just the swing fence that's not even locked.
In all the zombies, and they're like, how are we going to get on the opposite side of the gate? Did you notice that part?
Yeah.
Where they're like, they had no idea, and then there's a fucking normal sized gate.
Yeah.
But he had to jump over it or something.
Yeah, I was like, what the?
And I'm like, why did he jump over the electric fence?
Oh, it's so...
Well, and the fence, they're like, we have an electric fence. We're safe from zombies. I'm like, no, you're not. Your fence is 2 feet tall.
Yeah, it was not very tall, and like if they had the weight of more than 2 zombies on it,
It falls.
and they'd have to they'd have to kick the zombies off and put the fence back up, and then turn the fence back on.
Yeah, so they have to turn it off for a good couple hours because they have to fucking go along the entire property fence.
Yeah.
Which is huge. Make it smaller. Just do the small part. It was insane. This was a fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, it's so safe here. And I felt so bad for Mark.
Yeah,
that was so sad. He's just someone you meet in episode 2. Apparently, you guys invaded like a military base, and he was stockpiled with a bunch of food in there.
In the 3-month span between episode 1 and episode 2.
What's crazy is 3 months go by there, and then between 2 and 3, it's 1 week, and then it's a couple days between the rest of it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but the 3 months you're out of food and you're looking for food. That's why you go to this farm. But yeah, it's interesting because you also. So I guess we go into tough decisions. In this one,
Yes.
Larry dies.
Yes.
No matter what you do, I believe Larry dies.
Yes.
What did you do?
I killed Larry.
You sick son of a bitch.
Well, so like Larry passed out, and I agreed with Kenny that
Well, he didn't pass out. He died.
Well, yeah,
He's dead.
he had another heart attack, and we thought for sure we didn't have his medication with him. There wasn't any chance of reviving him, and even if we did try to revive him,
What did you do? How did you kill him?
So I held Lily back while Kenny
threw
grabbed
the
the
salt
salt block, the salt lick on his head.
So if you,
Oh.
I went to help him. So you do CPR,
Yeah.
and then while you're doing CPR, Kenny throws the salt.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, Kenny, you fucking asshole.
Kenny was gonna do it either way.
I know, but it was so funny. Like,
But
you're,
he
like,
had a good
right
point.
in his face.
You didn't want to have a 6'4",
He-
300-pound
yes,
zombie
I
in
agree.
a locked meat locker with you.
Trust
Like,
me when I say I agree that
Yeah.
we should have done it. But at the same time, I'm like, okay,
the way he did it was brutal as fuck.
yeah, the way we're going to do this is not fair to Lily. Let's chill out. And this is after you find out, because there's another tough decision you have to make. So in this one, no matter what, somebody dies, by the way.
Yeah.
So either you chop off the guy's leg who's stuck in the bear trap
Yep.
at the beginning of it.
Yes.
Or you let him die.
Yeah.
And you take the kid with you who gets shot in the stomach. Mm-hmm. I ended up chopping off the leg of the guy because I thought he would live through that rather than the kid getting shot in the stomach. Because I ended up doing both because I went back in time because I wanted to chop the leg off, but I wanted to try to get it off first.
I chopped the leg off first too. It said like I could try to chop the chain or whatever, and I was just like,
You're like,
I'm
"No way."
I'm just gonna chop the leg.
Yeah.
I was like, we don't
If you
have
don't
time
start-
for me to fuck
Yeah, if
around.
you don't start with the
Yeah.
leg, instantly you can't get enough chops in to chop the
Yeah,
leg off. So
I
you're
kinda
literally, you get 3 chops, and he's like, and you're like, we gotta go. And I'm like, I just only partially chopped this guy's leg off. I feel so
Let me
bad.
hurt you even worse.
Yeah, so you either chop his leg off or you don't, and if you don't, the kid tries to like wrestle a gun from you.
Yeah.
So he can save the teacher.
Yeah.
But instead he gets shot in the stomach by Mark.
Yeah.
And so you have to take him back instead, but either one you take back dies.
Yeah.
And they're not bit,
Yeah.
but you think they're bit because they turn into a zombie.
Yes.
So, and this is another weird decision. Like, you can either give your axe to Larry or give it to Mark.
Yeah.
Apparently, if you give it to Mark, because I looked this up, because I'm like,
Dude.
what is the point?
Fucking Mark misses.
I know he misses it, but Larry will kill it on the first time.
So yeah, I gave it to Mark because I was like, I don't trust fucking Larry.
Which I didn't either. That's why I gave it to Mark.
Yeah, and I was pissed that Mark did not.
Yeah, so it just makes you go through the quick time event faster.
Yeah.
Whereas Larry would have killed it right off the bat.
Yeah.
Which would have showed a lot of props. But either way, it doesn't matter. He dies in that fucking episode. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And Mark's death is so sad. So he gets another tough thing you have to look at. You end up going to the farmhouse, helping out with the electrical fence, like get the zombies off, like we were saying, and the bandits attack you
And he gets shot
with an arrow.
on
in
the right shoulder.
Yeah, so not like a big deal
Yeah.
for the most part if you pull it
Just
out.
a lot of pain.
Yeah, and probably no major arteries or anything like that. You'll probably be fine. And you
But
take
nope, he's definitely gonna die.
yeah, you take him back to the farmhouse, and like the mom brings him up into the room because there's 2 kids and the mom, Andy,
Danny.
Denny.
I think it's Danny.
I thought I saw an E in there.
I wrote it down as Danny, but I could be
Well,
wrong.
It's either Denny or Danny, and then the mom.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Who gives a shit?
Bertha.
She's mom. Hers is either because we're not
Yeah.
talking about like one of 2 people who are both moms,
Yeah.
right? So Danny, Andy, and the mom, and they take them upstairs, and fucking Katja goes with them.
Yeah.
That's the weird part. Like, Kenny's wife is named Katja, and she's a fucking veterinarian, so she's got some medical expertise. And she goes with them to heal the wound, and she clearly just leaves him without ever checking up on him again.
Yeah, I'm guessing she just immediately was like, "Oh, I've got this. You go handle the cow."
Yeah.
And then there's several different times I kept on asking you to go see him, and she was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just trust me. We're about to eat dinner."
And I'm like, okay, but no, let's literally
let's
push this
it.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
But instead, you're like, okay, I'll back off.
And then I feel like something weird's going on. Kenny also feels like there's something weird going on.
Kenny's like freaking out. Lily and Larry don't.
Yeah.
Like, there's just obvious, like, Lily just wants to leave, which is probably a good idea too. Like,
and
honestly,
Larry's like, these people are the nicest people ever, and I'm flirting with the mom, so let us stay and eat dinner. And
so you end up finding Mark upstairs at some point, just with his legs chopped off,
and he's like,
"This is
brothers, don't eat the meat."
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like, oh God, shut up. And so you get downstairs to stop people from eating the meat because they're all about to take a bite. And I wish I would have stopped Clementine from eating it.
I did stop Clementine from eating it.
I think I just yelled, "It's people."
Oh, yeah. You have to say, do not eat that, or she will eat it no matter what you say. But if you say, do not eat that, she'll drop her fork.
I wish it was "it's people." I don't understand why "it's people" didn't stop everyone from fucking taking a bite.
Because they think it's a joke at first. So
you're so serious about it.
I know. So when I first said, "Don't eat that," everyone like paused, and Clementine dropped it. But like 2 of them or 3 of them finished eating their bite.
Like seriously, why the fuck? Like if I come down screaming and say, "Don't eat that," don't eat it.
And then one of the next options I had, they're like, "Why?" And I was like, I actually said, "Because it's Mark."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, haha, you're so funny." And I'm like, "I'm fucking serious right now."
Yeah.
Like, they even, after I said, "Don't eat that," and I said it was people, they even still thought that I was joking
So
at first.
fucking stupid.
And I'm like,
no. And Larry's like, "You're fucking crazy."
Yeah.
But yeah, Clem ate it because I said "it's people." Start out, "It's people. Soylent Green is people." It was fun. It was a fun one. I had to say that line because it's from a famous movie and book. But yeah, Clem eats it. They lock you in a freezer with everyone for some reason. I don't understand. Like, and they have to eat you alive because otherwise you turn and your meat's tainted. Like, and I guess that's their point. It's like they have to eat you alive.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to kill Larry because now you figured out that when people die, whether they're bit or not, they turn.
Yeah.
So you kill Larry, no matter what, he dies in this point.
Holding her back and having Kenny kill Larry, she was a lot less accepting to me searching his pockets for coins.
Yeah. I when I did it, I'm like, I gotta get into his pockets. I heard he had 73 cents earlier.
Yeah.
And so I find the 73 cents. She wasn't too opposed to it. She's like, "He's dead and you're looting him? Wow." I'm like, okay, well, you want to go or you want to stay with your dead dad?
Right.
Okay? So we get out. We send Clementine to unlock the door. She does it. Danny's like guarding. But yeah, anyway, like we do all these decisions, and this is another decision. Do you kill Danny?
I did kill Danny.
I did not.
Really?
I decided to let the walkers take him.
Okay.
Because remember, he's already stabbed.
I stabbed him in the chest with a pitchfork. After I did that, like, I stabbed him with a sickle, and then I made him fall into the bear trap, and then I
Lily
stabbed him
with the sickle too.
Yeah.
Well, no, Lily. So Kenny or Lily help you, depending on who it is.
Yeah, it was
who you helped.
Kenny helped.
And in this case, Lily helped me. Kenny just stayed behind. This is why I didn't like Kenny, because every moment when he was involved, if you didn't help him, he's like, "I'm not gonna fucking help you." Now. I'm like,
same with Lily though, because Lily didn't help me when I was fighting Andy.
"Oh, did she give you the option to?" I didn't know she even tried.
Yeah.
I see, and that's so stupid to me. I'm like, okay, I get it. You're mad at me, but fucking, we're in a life or death situation.
Yeah.
Get the
with
fuck
cannibals.
over it. Yes.
Like, fucking help me with these cannibals.
And that
we'll fucking
happens
deal with our
throughout the
shit
entire
later.
time with Kenny. It happens more with Kenny because he's there more. So yeah, that's pretty much episode 2. Not much else. I don't think there's any bigger
I did leave Andy alive.
Yeah, I left Andy alive as well.
I loved, kept on inching towards the mom as she has Katja hostage, and then seeing
Mark as a zombie
on the stairs, and like, ooh, if I just keep walking towards her, she'll walk right back into him.
I don't know if your character realizes that in that moment, that he's even on the stairs.
I don't know either.
I think your point is like to try to talk her down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, not a lot of big decisions after that. You save Clementine, you save Duck, you save Katja.
Yeah.
People who die in this are Larry and Mark.
Yeah.
So you lose Larry and Mark right off the bat. Mark you just gained, so he's like neutral net loss, whatever. But Larry was the part of the original group, so you lose one original group member.
Yeah.
But you gain Ben, so you lose one, you gain one.
Yes.
So Ben becomes a permanent party member.
Ben is a
little
permanent problem too.
So episode 3, big decisions we make. At the front of this episode, Ben betrays everyone by giving the bandits medicine that he's not supposed to.
Yes. And I did find the medicine, like, on the outside walls. Like, I helped Lily find.
Yeah. I think you have to do that no matter what.
Oh, okay.
I think so. I don't think there's any option not to. But this is where, like, you find out Carly's interested in you and stuff.
Yeah.
You save everyone at this point. No one dies at this point.
Yeah.
And then that very quickly fucking changes.
God,
this episode was the hardest episode to get through because you're going through. Lily finds out that the meds were being given by someone, and she thinks it's either Carly or Ben. And you can either defend one, defend other, or defend both, and just say, guys, come on, get the fuck over it.
Like, we don't know if it was actually one of them two. Where's your evidence that it was one of them two?
She just has a gut feeling, and she has a bad fucking feeling.
Yeah, she has a bad...
Lily sucks.
She just hated Carly for some reason, which I didn't understand. Because
Carly... she's a woman. Women hate women. Fucking sexist bullshit.
Like, so annoying.
Yeah, so you get away in this RV from the bandits. You drive for a long while. Everything. You run over a zombie, and it gets stuck, and you have to get out. And this is where, like... you're fighting still with Lily about how it's either Carly or Ben, and you're like, no, shut the fuck up, Lily.
Yeah, and
at this point, I wanted to backhand her. I'm like, seriously? Lily, shut the fuck up. So annoying, and she fucking turns and shoots Carly in the face because Carly's like, bitch, you ain't gonna tell me what to do.
That was so unexpected and traumatic. Yeah,
I was like, no. Carly's supposed to go out a hero.
Seriously. One of the other decisions I needed to ask you if you made. Did you steal from the station wagon you saw going back to the motel?
So, no. Well, no matter what, you steal from it.
Well, the group does.
Yeah.
But you don't
No,
have to.
I did not support the stealing because I did support it my first playthrough.
Okay.
I wanted to see if it comes out to a different ending if it didn't.
Yeah.
So I didn't support it. I was with Clementine, and then they just steal it anyway.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't support it either.
Yeah. The first time I did, and all that really changed was the dialogue at the last episode.
Yeah.
So
I kind of figured that would be the only case.
But yeah, you steal from there. But yeah, in this one, so Carly dies, and now you have the option to leave Lily or take Lily with you.
I left Lily.
I left Lily too. But if you take her, she just steals the RV. Like 10 minutes later, she steals the RV.
I fucking hate Lily, man.
Yeah,
Lily and Larry were worse.
You tie her up, she gets out, she steals the RV, and she comes back in a later season. I think season 4 she comes back or something. But way later, like not even close to the same amount, like years. I think Clementine's 17 when she comes back. And then she's 9.
Okay.
So yeah, that's another big decision. You jump on the train. Here's a big one. Duck is bit.
Oh, yeah.
Duck is bit. You have to kill Duck.
Yep.
You have to kill your Robin.
Yep.
They try, like, and Katya is so calm about it the entire time. And I was like, okay, you're doing this really well, Katya. You're doing really good right now.
I thought she had like a good hold on it, especially over Kenny. Kenny was not handling it well. Kenny was in denial of everything.
Yeah, but one was like inwardly freaking out, one was outwardly freaking out. That's really all it was.
Yeah.
So Katya tried to be humble about it, and then she takes Duck in the woods, and you're planning on meeting them in the woods to do it outside of Clementine's view, and Katya kills herself.
Yep.
But you know what's funny is I thought Kenny might have killed her. I know he didn't, but I thought at first, I'm like,
didn't think that at all.
Did Kenny kill her because he's mad? Because that seems like something he would maybe do, knowing him later. He comes back in season 2, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So he's alive.
Oh, good.
He doesn't die. No, not good.
Oh.
He is very bad in season 2.
Okay, never mind.
He's awful. I hated it. I killed him in season 2. He ends up dying.
Okay.
But yeah, he comes back so because I knew that, I'm like, did he kill Katya?
I didn't think
he did. He didn't. I had to look it up. I wanted to get some affirmation, see if it was revealed in later seasons, but he didn't. Katya did kill herself.
In episode 5, I believe, he does at one point
freaks out about people talking about suicide.
Because they find that couple that committed suicide on the bed.
So yeah, big decision here. Katya kills herself. Duck is turning into a zombie. You can either make Kenny do it, or you can kill Duck.
I killed Duck.
Or you leave him.
Oh.
You can also leave him there just to turn.
Okay, I killed Duck.
Yeah. So, and I killed Duck as well. Because, I mean, that seemed like the most appropriate option. It was sad. Made me really sad to do it. You get another group member here. You get the hobo.
Yeah.
The homeless dude. Chuck.
Well, it's Charles, but they call him Chuck.
Yeah. So Chuck You meet Chuck. Ben's still in your group. Chuck,
Yep.
Clementine, Kenny.
And then while on the train...
That's it. That's all 4.
Yeah.
I think, and you. So there's
Yeah.
5. That's all that's left.
And then on the train, you end up running into Krista and Omid.
Yeah, Omid.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the big decision there. You meet these 2 extra people and you go to Savannah. The goal here is to go find a boat. You find out, obviously, it's been 3 fucking months. 3
Yeah.
months in 1 week, and you know that all the boats
And that
are
was
going to be gone.
everyone's first idea.
Yeah, it's like... What
Everyone who had a boat,
Yeah,
it was their first idea to get on the
It's such
boat.
a bad
and go.
fucking idea.
It is.
Because you have unlimited food, you have no way to cook that food.
Yeah.
You have no way to get clean water.
But it is a good way to travel during the zombie apocalypse.
For sure. It's much
Yeah.
safer than roads.
Yes.
But you don't know if zombies can swim. No one's proven that they can't.
But it's hard to climb up on a boat.
You don't know that.
I do know
You've
that.
never seen a zombie.
I've tried climbing up a boat.
So you find out there's no boats. You're basically there for no reason. You meet an extra character. What was her name?
Molly.
Molly is cool. She comes back
Molly
in
is
season
cool.
2
I like
and
Molly a
season
lot.
3. I don't remember if she dies, but she comes back and she's really cool.
Okay.
You find out about this place called
Cranston or
Crawford.
Crawford.
Which is like survival of the fittest place. No kids, no elderly, no sick.
Yeah.
And they booted them all out to survive on their
Or
own. And
put them on
basically-
spikes.
Or put them on spikes, which I thought those were maybe zombies at first, or people who try to invade.
Molly said that, like, because they said, what did they do with the old and elderly? She's like, that's them right there on those 4 spikes.
Yeah.
So there was some elderly that they put out on display.
Probably people who refused to
Yeah.
leave. So yeah, no kid, no pregnancies.
'Cause they
which you
did-
find out later.
Yeah, they did let people leave.
This is all still episode 3, by the way, which was insane. Episode 3
Yeah.
felt long. There was a
Yeah.
big amount of travel.
Some of these episodes did feel really long.
Yeah.
Most of these average about 2 hours, but some of these felt like more 3 or 4 hours, and a couple of them felt like an hour
Yeah,
and a
so
half.
let's jump into just decisions, I guess. We don't have
Okay.
a lot of time. So we're jumping into decisions here. Big decisions were... So to kill Duck or not, to kill the little kid in the attic or not, which I did.
I killed the little kid,
Kid
in
in
the
an
attic.
attic.
Too. Yeah. I didn't write
You find
down
out
much
someone's
else.
stalking Clementine, which whatever.
That was a good twist.
Yeah.
I liked that twist.
Yeah, it
I
was
wasn't
really good.
expecting that person to be the person it was, which
Yeah. You found out as soon.
Yeah.
So it's the guy you stole the station wagon full of food. You stole it from this guy and his family ends up dying. But it sounds like
Yeah.
they weren't good anyway.
yo, they were terrible.
Yeah, because
especially
the
him.
mom's head is in the fucking bag that he's carrying
Yeah.
around. It's still alive. So
And he had lost his son before the zombie apocalypse even happened.
yeah, so I believe that's all the big decisions in this. You go and you meet like some more survivors, elderly survivors that were from
Yeah.
Crawford. So let's jump into episode 4. It's like a great heist episode.
Mm-hmm.
You have to steal from Crawford, who ends up all being zombies because somebody fucking got infected, got killed.
So this is the doctor ended up dying.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that caused it. But
no, it was probably more. So
I
what
also think it's because of the train. Because once you leave that building, the doctor, the doctor you're with, I can't remember his name.
Yeah. He says, "Did you bring the train in?" That happens after.
Yeah.
Crawford's already gone by then.
I know, but I'm saying like he's like, you came in on a train, like I said, and he's like saw something off in the
Yeah.
distance.
So that's why he stole the boat.
Yeah.
That's exactly why he stole the boat.
Yeah.
So at the end of this,
bitch.
there's not a lot of big decisions in this. You help Molly a little bit.
Yeah.
Nothing amazing. I can't remember anything huge.
You can find out.
Oh,
that
you
Molly
saved
was
Ben
part of
or not?
Crawford. Oh yeah.
So Ben's like dangling from a clock tower, and you can either pull him up while zombies are coming up, or you let him go because he did all this. He admitted to Kenny that it was him who gave the bandits medicine, which caused this whole thing to happen. Basically, everyone died because of him.
And then he brought it up in the middle of all of these running from zombies.
Yeah,
He
it was
also
fucking
was
stupid.
he also pulled the axe out of the door.
Yeah,
That let all the zombies.
Ben was an
into
idiot. Like
Ben was
I
dumb
should have
as
let him
fuck.
go, but I was trying to play a good character, so I pulled him back up.
I let him go.
Did
I
you?
let him die.
Okay, I'm curious what happens next then, because I didn't. I pulled him up. But we'll get to that. Hold
Okay.
on. Let's finish up what we did here. At the end of this chapter, Clementine is missing.
Yes.
Because you tell her that you're not going to find her parents now.
Yeah.
This whole like overarching thing is like you're coming to Savannah to see if you can find her parents, who are probably dead. You know they're
Yeah.
dead. You heard the answering machine.
Yeah.
You know he got bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you know the dad is at least dead, and the mom's probably dead by
Yeah.
proxy. So you fall asleep. Clementine goes missing. You go looking for her, and this is I thought it was really stupid at first, but then I realized it's not.
Yeah.
You get bitten.
Yeah.
And it's very dumb because it's like just a zombie hiding behind plywood.
Yeah.
And up to this point, you've been pushing zombies off, you've been killing them all over the place, and you've been fine. But this is the realization of this world. It can happen at literally any fucking moment. Like, you're never safe, which is... Like, at first, like I said, I was fucking pissed. I'm like, I've been doing all this shit. I've been so fucking badass. And then I'm like, wait, no, this makes so much sense. You're never fucking safe.
No, it really does.
Yeah.
And I really liked the way they did it, honestly. Especially because you were bending down to reach for
A walkie-talkie.
Her walkie-talkie.
No.
It was her hat.
No, it's her walkie-talkie. The hat's inside.
that's right.
You get the hat and the walkie-talkie.
So, you'd be trying to get her walkie-talkie.
I
and
went for the
all you were
board.
thinking about was Clementine. You were not thinking about zombies at
Nope.
all. It was the furthest thing from your mind. It was the furthest thing from your character's mind. And you were just, oh, that's her thing. I need to find out where she's at. You go to reach down for it, and he didn't look around
Did you reach for the walkie?
Yeah.
Okay, so I went for the plywood.
Oh,
So either way,
okay.
you get bit. I knew that because I watched someone else play it because they
Okay.
thought they were pissed because they did that. They went for the
okay.
walkie and they thought that the plywood would have been a better option. Then they looked it up and realized it's both.
Okay.
No matter what, you get bit.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like it's an integral part of the story.
Yeah. So you get bit, and that's pretty much the end of the chapter, except that you find out that you go to find the old person you found who helped you invade Crawford in order to
Yeah.
see if they took Clementine. Because before this, they talked about like
Taking Clementine.
because they're more protected, which
Yeah.
made sense to me too. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, I get it.
I
don't know
told
why
him I
he was-
wanted to think about it because I wanted to see if I could have a conversation with Clementine about
Yeah.
it first. But then,
Clementine disappeared.
yeah.
And so you go there, he's not there, and then you hear all the zombies coming in from the train.
Yep.
And then episode 5 starts. The first big decision.
Cutting off your arm.
Cut off your arm or leave it intact. Guess what? It doesn't matter either way. You die.
Yep.
God, so fucking stupid. Like, and I get what they were doing. You do this with no pain meds, no
Yeah.
alcohol, no nothing. She just takes a fucking like doll
Just
saw.
tourniquet your arm
Yep.
and then, yep.
Like, and so they think that you actually die because of blood loss.
Yeah.
If you cut off the arm.
Because you go unconscious for a little bit and they're like, oh man, you were out for a while. We didn't know if you'd come back.
Yeah. So, but either way, you're doing that the entire time.
Yeah.
So, like, you're either dying from the infection of the bite, but they're also saying like blood circulates within a minute.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting that arm off in the first minute, and they traveled all those blocks,
Yeah.
which took probably a couple hours.
I feel like, yeah, if they would have, which I think they did that in the show, they cut off someone's limb like immediately and he didn't turn.
Because they did it within the first minute.
Yeah.
But that's what you have to do. So yeah, they cut off the limb. He's probably going to turn anyway. But I ended up cutting off the limb. Did you?
I did too, yeah.
Yeah, like it just makes things harder.
I just felt like it made the most sense. Like,
Yeah.
even, which I looked it up because I was curious what happened if you kept it on, and it just gets more and more infected and you can't use it for anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So
I
it
didn't
just
know that.
becomes like a useless limb that
So the
it
same
keeps
thing.
giving options to like be able to use, but then it like, oh, I can't use this arm. I don't have like any control
Yeah.
of it anymore. It's too infected. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one big decision. You come up on a couple things.
You wanted to know about the difference between letting Ben die or not.
So yeah, in mine, Ben dies anyway. He falls down.
Yeah, he falls down later when you're trying to go from rooftop to rooftop.
Yeah, and he ends up with a spike through. So what happens instead with Kenny?
So,
You come back, by the way, and they stole the boat, which
Yeah.
fucking assholes.
when we come back, like with the medicine and supplies and stuff, we go help Omid, and then like we're all in the room talking, and then like
Omid was hurt, but
Yeah.
like I said, play the game and you'll get the full story.
they're like, oh, what happened to Ben? And Kenny just immediately pipes in, Lee did exactly what he had to do. He let him die. And then I was like,
He was like,
and then Clementine was right behind him.
Guys, don't fucking sell me out. No one saw that but Kenny, but apparently everyone knows now.
Well, yeah, like Kenny just full out just says like he did what he needed to do, and
Yeah,
then
but-
Clementine was sitting right next to him, and Clementine gets all offended because she wanted to keep Lee
Yeah,
or
or
keep
keep Ben,
in
yeah.
the group, and so I had to go have a conversation with her, and she's like, "So what happened with Ben?" And I'm like, "All right, so he told me
With a
to."
mommy and a daddy.
Well, I was like, he wanted me to let him go, so I let him go. He did the hero thing to do and sacrificed himself so we had more time to get out.
Yeah.
And that's what he told me before I let him go, and that's what I let him do for us.
Does it hurt you to know that either way you would have had enough time to get out?
No, I wanted Ben to die. And then she's like, oh, okay. She's like, that sounds like Ben doing something for others instead of doing it for
And you're
himself.
like, no, it does fucking not.
I let her think of him as a
All right,
hero.
all
I
right.
wanted her to have hope in this world full of shit.
So later on, when Ben falls down, that's when Kenny disappears. What does he disappear in yours?
What do you mean when Kenny? Oh, Kenny disappears in the hole that we dropped the walkie-talkie down into.
The hole?
So we're walking on these rooftops.
Oh, he falls down into that hole.
So,
Got it.
no,
Yes.
So Kenny bumps me, and the walkie-talkie falls. And then Krista actually goes to get the walkie-talkie. I actually made the decision that we should just leave the walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Krista's like, no, we need it because what if we go to that place that she's at and she's moved somewhere else? We don't have any
And you're like,
connection
Krista, just stop.
Yeah, I was like,
'Cause
Krista, she's there.
Your
Just-
pregnant ass is pissing me off now.
just shut the fuck up. So she jumps down there, and then she can't get back up. We give her a pipe to like come back up.
Yeah, you give her a pipe.
She grabs it, but then she falls on her back, and she can't get up. She can't jump high enough. So then Kenny jumps down there, helps her up, and then we can't save him in time. So he's running around, and then he's like, just go! I'll be fine! Just go! And we hear all these like screams and gargles, and we're like...
He's not going to be fine, is he?
And then we're like, is he dead? And I'm like, he might have made it out. He might have died.
Yep.
We
So
don't
in
know.
mine, he falls
Let's
down
go.
with Ben, same idea,
Oh, okay.
but Ben dies at this point.
Yeah.
And Kenny escapes, and you hear one gunshot, and you assume it's him killing Ben. So he doesn't
okay.
become a walker.
Okay.
But yeah, Kenny ends up surviving, so later on. But
Interesting.
Anyway, next big decision, I believe, is Krista and Omid. What did you
Yes.
tell them to do?
I told them to stay around us. Oh, I first had told them that I want them to take care of Clementine. And then I told them that I want them to stay around the area and find us immediately after we get
That's
out.
what I told them too. So at the end, did you just see Clementine on the log and there's two people walking in the distance?
I didn't see anybody. The gunshot happened and it went to credits.
Yeah, after the credits. Did you not watch after the
No,
credits?
I didn't
again?
fucking watch
God
after the
damn
credits. I was like, God, that's a horrible way to end this game.
Yeah, so after that, Clementine's sitting on a log and she sees two people walking in the distance, and you assume it's Krista and Obi.
Okay.
Which I think that's confirmed that it was.
Okay.
So that's one big decision, because I think you can send them to the train station, and then it confirms, it actually shows their faces of her finding them.
Okay,
I think, if I remember
You
right.
can send them to find a boat, or you can send them to the train.
Yeah.
Or you can have them just meet you close to the
Yeah,
area.
well, I think I had to meet me close because I didn't try that last time. So you get inside, and you can pick whether to put your weapon down or to keep it.
I kept it.
I put it down
Okay.
because if you put it down, Clementine takes it and hits him with it
Oh.
instead of the vase, which I think is what she hits him with anyway.
She did it with a beer bottle.
Okay,
I
and
picked
then
the beer
you-
bottle, and then
then
I
you,
attacked him with it.
Yeah. So and then this one, if I don't have a weapon, I try to choke him to death, and you can.
Which I did choke him to death.
I didn't.
Oh.
I let him get on top of me, and I let Clem shoot him.
Okay. I choked him to death, and then I shot him.
Oh, I wanted Clem to shoot him because I wanted her to see like there's going to be evil people, and you're going to have to make this decision.
Which I when I choked him to death, I was sitting there, and she was like, "Well, he did kidnap me and was attacking us, so he was bad." And I was like, "Yes, very good, Clementine."
Yeah.
And then I held the gun up to him, and then I shot him in the head. And she's like, "He was gonna turn."
Yeah,
And I was like,
she's-
"Yep, exactly, Clementine.
Yeah.
You
But
got this.
in this
You're very
case-
smart. I love you."
In this case, I had her do it all, so she would have the
okay.
experience. But yeah, you end up turning shortly after that, and the last big decision of the game is either you're left a walker or
Clementine shoots you in the
yeah,
head.
which Clementine, I had her shoot me.
I had her shoot me too.
Yeah.
I felt like she didn't want to see him as a walker. She didn't want to think of him as a walker. She
Yeah.
already had to see her parents as
Yeah,
walkers.
so it's confirmed that her parents were dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of an interesting way to go in the last to kill off the main character. You don't see a lot of games do that.
Yeah.
It's a very not popular decision by a lot of games, but in
Yeah.
this case, I think it worked out for the best.
I really enjoyed it,
Yeah.
honestly. I think this was so well done, and it was kind of him being able to do the right things for one person, because
And the wrong things for everyone else. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard because you can't make everyone happy.
Yeah.
And that's what this game really shows. All right, so we're gonna jump out of story and get into
Worth, or not?
nah.
yeah, totally. This game sucks.
I'm gonna go Worth for sure. I mean,
Fuck
this
this
game
game.
fucking killed it. They
No,
killed on
this
their
game-
story, direction. Again, gameplay wasn't great, but the story was so good. Who cares?
I'm the same way. This is 100% worth it. I hadn't played this game until now, and I'm excited to play more of it, honestly.
Yeah.
I want to play
You'll
the rest
love.
of these
I think
seasons.
the rest of them. I don't think they have the fixed camera view as much.
Okay.
I don't think. I don't remember for sure, but I don't remember minding it as much.
Okay.
So it's either not there or it's not as bad.
Okay. I really enjoyed the story of this. I really enjoyed all the dialogue choices. I really enjoyed the intensity of it. I'm not gonna lie, I fucking cried at the end.
Yeah. Sad.
Jen was like playing games next to me, and like we both had headphones on, and like she looked over right at the end of the
Tears
game.
coming down, and you're like,
Well, she's like, the end seemed kind of emotional there, and I turned my head, and
It
I'm sitting there
wasn't.
crying, and I'm like,
it was fine.
yeah, it was pretty
Oh
bad.
my-
And then I was telling her what happened at the end, and I started crying again while telling her the story.
And you realize
I
how
was like,
stupid you were because you didn't watch after the credits.
I don't care. Don't put shit after credits. Fuck
I
everyone.
won't watch it.
I'm just getting tired of it.
Yeah,
like,
but it's an expectation,
annoying
no
that
matter
it
what
happens
you
in
have.
everything now.
I know.
Like,
It would be
fuck.
nice if they had a skip button to skip to that part. But
Yes.
they don't want you skipping the credits
Everything
either.
needs to do that.
Yeah, but they don't want you skipping the credits because then they can get in trouble for you skipping the credits.
Because I was also doing that in between the episodes. Because I didn't want to see, here's what's going to happen next episode. So I would, as soon as I ended the episode,
just quit.
I would quit to the main menu and then click
Yep.
the next episode. Because I was like, I don't want to see what's
Well,
going to
no
happen.
matter what, it's funny is you end up back at the main menu either way.
Yeah.
So it's stupid. But yeah, I think we're gonna go both Worth on this.
100%.
This game kills it, guys. Play it, you'll love it. Get the full story out of it. We can't do it justice, of course. We
Yeah.
can only come over.
And it's a really cheap game nowadays.
Yeah.
I think it's only like $15,
Game Pass is
$20.
free.
Yeah, Game Pass too.
No. So there you go.
All right. And
Well, next week's game,
next week's game is Mass Effect.
Mass Effect.
Game I have never played that is blasphemous to most, so I'm finally getting it out of the way.
So I don't know if it's what he means by that is like it's blasphemous that he never played it.
Yes.
Not that the game is blasphemous.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. It's blasphemous that it's like for me, if someone says they haven't watched Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, I'm like, really?
Oh, I
Like,
just
never?
be like, I don't give a shit what
I
you do.
mean, I don't really care, but like, it is kind of one of those things like, one of the most popular entertainment
Yeah,
things
yeah.
ever. You've never done this.
Actually, no, I haven't. I've lived in a hole for 35
like,
years, but thanks for asking how my life has been.
I get a lot of shit for have not playing Mass Effect from a lot of people. So
Yeah, you'll like it. It's fun. It's a fun story, too. I will say it is a fucking carbon copy of Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, okay.
You're going to see that. You're going to be like, wow. That's
okay.
exactly what this fucking is.
So it's all Bahoer does.
Yeah. So, but after the first one, it gets so much better. Like,
Okay.
it stops being a carbon copy after
Okay.
that. They really try to just copy Knights of the Old Republic for the first one.
Yeah.
And then Dragon Age is nothing like Knights. So it's
Okay.
great. It's great. They learned their lesson from Mass Effect. Because I think
Yeah.
Dragon Age came out after Mass Effect did.
Yeah.
Because Mass Effect came out in like 2007.
Yeah.
Which I fucking did a long time ago.
Yeah.
15 years ago? I mean, that's just fucking insane.
25 years.
No,
Right?
that is not how math works. 15 years ago.
I think somebody made that same mistake on a podcast I was listening to earlier,
And you're
and
like,
it
"You
got stuck in
fucking
my
idiots."
head. Yeah. Well, I think it stuck in my head because of that. Because he was like 25 years, and he's like, no, 15. I'm like, oh yeah, he's right. And then I did the same thing because I'm a moron, and I
That's
listened
okay.
to fucking too many reviews.
So yeah. So next week